Thanks for staying up later. Henry Winkler is with us. He's the director of Cop and a Half. As we tape this, it's been out for about a week or so, and it has opened, to put it mildly, strong at the box office.
As if it works out every morning to 600 or 700 sit-ups.
Huh?
It opened strong.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the metaphor sounded so good in my head before it came out of my mouth, I gotta tell you.
For those who haven't seen it at this point, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as a must.
Right.
I would.
Thank you and good night. Just go see the film. Our mission here is complete. We're packing up early.
I would describe it as a fantasy. It was a drama when the script was first written, a serial comedy. And my task was to make it into a childhood fantasy, a wish fulfillment movie for children.
Sweetie, why don't you just go ahead and give us that plate number, and then we can all go home.
Okay. Make me a cop.
Why do you want to be a cop? Look at this guy. Bad back, bad marriage, bad attitude. Son, does that sound like any kind of life for anybody?
But if you were a cop, people don't sass you. I tell you what, I'll give you a little taste of what I got.
A taste? Where does he get this stuff?
Prime time.
A wish fulfillment movie. It wasn't a real story, a wish fulfillment for children.
So you have a feeling that some of the critics missed that point.
Some reviewers, I think, saw a remake of a 1948 film starring Beatrice Arthur and wrote about mine.
Do you ever get used to that?
No, I never do. You know,
It never
look,
stops hurting?
It's not, look, this is the way that I see things at 47. It is not what you do. It is how you do it. It is the tone in which you do it. You know, attitude makes the music, and I think that some critics don't actually do their job of letting people know what it is and what it isn't. They let them know that they're unfortunately sad in their life.
Was Memories of Me your most recent directing effort prior to
yes,
Cop and a Half?
Yes, it was. No, there was one in between, but I didn't really direct it. I it. I was fired after 13 days.
And what fine film was that?
That was called Turner and Hooch.
And Hooch.
Yeah. Hooch and I got along famously. The dog and I were just like real pals.
But Turner was a problem.
You know, I never, Turner. I don't have a memory of Turner. But I remember that dog. An adorable dog.
What happens when a director gets fired?
He feels terrible.
He just picks up his lunch and leaves? How do they tell you?
You're brought to the office, and I'm an optimist. So we were doing night shooting. So the night before, being a realist, I cleaned out my trailer when I knew that I had to go to the offices of the corporate structure at the studio. But in the morning, I put on my long underwear because I thought, you never know. Maybe I'm going to go back to the set. And all I did was sweat in the office because I never needed my long underwear again.
Do you see yourself primarily now as a director or as a producer? I know you were involved on the production side with MacGyver on television for many years.
I don't have a vision. Actually, I'm still searching. I've got a lantern. I'm looking for an honest man. No, I am, I like to work. I do it. I enjoy it. I love directing. I'm going to act again very soon. I haven't done that for a while. Producing is difficult. Producing is difficult. It is a very frustrating job, unlike the other two. Somehow I can live with the other two a lot more comfortably than producing.
Because you're more hands-on in the creative process?
Well, in television, the executive producer is great because you really get to do you get to be hands-on in the process. Do you know? You help in the casting, and you help work on the script, and you help working on the mixing, putting the sounds and the music in, and picking all of the elements, you know, and guiding the project.
I read somewhere, and I'm not sure if this would still apply, but somewhere a while back you said, somewhere along the line, I decided, this is speaking of yourself as an actor, I decided that I was second-rate that I'm just not good enough?
No, no, no. I never decided that. I actually felt that. My sense of self started around my ankles. I think I have it up now to my sternum. But for the longest time, I literally thought of myself as second rate. And then doing some work on myself, found out that it's probably true. No. It was very painful. You know, I had no sense of self.
Now, does this pre or post date the phenomenal success of Happy Days and You as
This
the Fonz?
was pre and then post. Because I don't know that I did enough homework on myself. So whatever confidence I felt during the 11 years of doing Happy Days, I thought to myself toward the end of the show, I wonder if I'm going to maintain this or whether it is really a little bit synthetic and comes out of the success of the show.
So you disappeared into that character without ever really gaining some lasting confidence in your own ability as a performer.
Yes, I got a little bit. I carried, there was some carryover, and there was a tremendous amount of affection and warmth that came with, you know, doing the character, and then when the show ended. You know, everyone should once in their life have the experience of meeting and greeting people all over the world the way that I am met and Gret.
The way you met and Gret?
Yeah.
Is it true that at its height, the Fonz was receiving, and I make that distinction because it was directed toward the Fonz as much as it was toward Henry Winkler, receiving
You mean I'm not the Fonz?
some 50,000 fan letters a week?
It is. It is. It was phenomenal.
How did it affect your life?
I would think in every single way. I was earning a living. I was earning a living doing what I dreamt of doing since I was 7 years old. That I was... There are three incidences that come right to mind, each one very, very different. I'm at the inaugural of President Clinton, the swearing in. Oh, there are 800,000 people outside on the mall. I'm taking pictures with a lot of them. And I can't sign any autographs because it would get too crazy. But to take a picture with everybody, it was a pleasure. And I met people from all over the country, and they were great. A man comes up from behind me, and he says, would you sign my autograph? Would you sign my program? And I said, sir, I don't usually... And I said, for you, I will do this. And then somebody said, oh, my goodness, and I had a friend take a picture of us so that I could have this picture. And it turned out to be Terry Anderson, one of the hostages from Beirut. And the man said to me, we used to be able to watch you because you were beamed in from Syria, and you kept us laughing. And I thought to myself, so that is a moment probably that you live for. That is the reason that we are on this earth, outside of your own family, of being, you know, the parent and raising your children. My stepson, who is now graduating from Georgetown, was in the 3rd grade. He's studying the American Indians. We go to the mesas in Arizona so that he can see right there everything that he's studying in his class at Oakwood. It is a law that you must lock your camera in your car, lock it, when you go to the Hopi Reservation. We had done a Thanksgiving story, and the Fonz and the Indians in that particular story were very close. And I was invited to get my camera from my car to take pictures of the clown Kachina dance on the mesa. So I'm one of 13 or 15 men since 1910 that was able to take a picture of the great Hopi nation. How do you even put that into words? Do you know? I presented my jacket. They asked, and I presented my jacket with my parents and my wife and my stepson at that time to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington. It's pretty great.
It was interesting. I hadn't really thought of this because it wasn't the sort of thing that I sat and thought at great length about, even though I watched the show.
But ask me anyway.
But in going over some of the research, he never smoked a cigarette.
Right.
He never combed his hair.
Right.
He did that move that was great on the opening where he looked at himself and said, I can't improve on it. But he didn't do a lot of the things that you would be like kind of easy handles to sort of do a caricature of that kind of guy.
Because in your choice is your talent. So a choice is the bits of behavior that an actor decides to add to his character.
Hey, ho! Now, what is going on out here? I can't hear myself thinking there.
Fonz, they faked us, and we're gonna
Oh, easy. This contest is no fake. I know these guys. Just happens to be that the prizes are changed to something more valuable, that's all. That's right. The prizes now are months of dates with the Fonz. Yeah, right. You get me for 30 days and 30 nights. Do with me what you will.
Every actor who had played a guy like the Fonz combed his hair, wore a Garrison belt, rolled his cigarettes up in his sleeve, and chewed gum. So I figured, okay, now I have to take all that away, and I have to find other things, because otherwise I'm just imitating. The thumbs come from the Gladiators, 10th grade history. The only thing I added was, I'm not so sure. A comes from, he talked too much, and I reduced the language to sound. Whoa comes from one of my favorite sports, horseback riding. You know, and when the director in the pilot, Mel Ferber, said, "Go to the mirror now and comb your hair," I did not. In my first job in Hollywood, and I'm getting paid $1,000 a week to do this show, and I can't say no to him. I cannot be so disrespectful, but I must be true to myself. And I went to the mirror and I went, I don't have to. Isn't that, yeah, whoa. And I just put the comb away, and the ambivalence of that move, of where it came from, established the character.
There were some touching episodes that kind of revealed who this guy was.
Yeah.
There was a Christmas episode that they reran every Christmas where the Fonz, kind of his loneliness was...
Had nowhere to go. I believe that was the episode that, by mistake, Marion Ross said, Arthur, called me Arthur. and we made the decision right then and there that she would be the only one to use my Christian name.
Hey, Mrs. C, my mother used to talk to me like that. The only one who used to get away with it, too. Until you. I accept your invitation.
When you do something that's that much of a signature, and it's on television, so it's being seen by tens of millions of people,
Right.
you're identified as the Fonz from that point on.
Right.
And how do you work your way around that?
Well, I was worried about it maybe at one time. I was worried about it for a short time during the 5th year of Happy Days, and but you can see that it has in no way impeded me in my life. I went on to produce things that I'm very, very proud of, direct things I'm very, very proud of, act in other things that I'm very, very proud of, and it looks like my career is going to go on for another year or two.
But has it impeded you as an actor?
No, it has not. What it
There was
did,
a long stretch, right, where you didn't do any acting.
But that was not because I was not asked. That was because I stopped and believe me, it was not an easy period. It was a period of 8 or 9 years when I went on to produce and direct. But I had no control. It was involuntary that the desire to act just took a vacation.
But why do you think that happened?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was the fear that I couldn't imagine doing it. I couldn't. I read something now and I know, yes, I can do this, or no, I can't. I go, oh my goodness, there are thousands of ideas come into my brain about what I can do with the character. That process shut down as if my brain was a motor and I had put no oil in. It just seized up and stopped. And I was painfully searching for, okay, I'll just relax and it'll come back. Okay, it's not coming back, so I'll just relax and I'll do something else. I'll go with the flow. I'll be very zen. Okay, I will. Maybe now. Nope, it's not there yet. Okay, so what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? You've got a family. I'm obsessive. Okay, I've got to earn some money to send my children to college, to put matzah on the table. So, you know, it was bad. It was a bad time.
Where is this quote of yours? I'm looking for it.
Yeah, please.
Somewhere.
I'm dying to hear it. What did I say?
Here we go.
Okay.
It says that you were the target, this is by your own account, target of a lot of jokes and teasing, maybe not the most self-assured kid growing up.
Yeah.
I cried myself to sleep many nights. I think of killing myself so they'd all be sorry. My idea of being cool back then was knowing my Dostoevsky.
You know, that must have been in another time because I don't relate. It was very painful. I was in the bottom 3%. I'm dyslexic. I have a learning disability. When the time I was growing up, they didn't know about learning disabilities, so I was called lazy and not living up to my potential and all that stuff. I was in the bottom of my class, and I never quite got the answers, you know. So I was made fun of a lot. You know, I was. It's too painful to talk about. I was so. Unsure of myself that I would come back after a summer and tell my friends, no, I've changed. I'm much better this year. You know, what am I talking about? Please, dear God, it was just terrible. About killing myself, I don't know if I ever said that or not, or someone just wrote that. I always moved forward. I always knew that I needed to do what I'm doing. And so that on the top level, I was a basket case. But somewhere deep inside, I just kept a tenacious, step-by-step forward movement going in my life.
Was there that feeling when things finally clicked for you of, good grief, more than just if they could see me now, because in fact they could see you now.
Yeah.
But sort of like, hey, try this on for size.
You know, I must have felt that. I don't feel that anymore. I mean, I'm petty, but I've let that go, I think, you know. But I'll tell you what was painful, is that people come out of the woodwork and they try to get you before you're going to get them. They think, now you're on television, you must be changed. You know, people have this view of famous people or celebrities or people on television that you don't grow an inch. You don't know any more about politics than you did the day before you went on the tube. But people imbue you with this, kind of out of proportion view. And so I would call friends up, you know, and I would say, hi, how are you? I'm in town and everything. And then one guy said to me, so, ever think about your fall? I said, no, actually, I just think about my rise. Thank you very much. Boom. That was the last time I saw him or spoke to him. And it was very painful to know or to think that you might have to let these people go.
This man, Henry Winkler, directed it. Thanks for coming by.
You know, it is a pleasure.
Thanks. Good
Pleasure
to see
to
you
watch you. It's a pleasure to be here in person.
Well, in that case, just close the show.
Here we are in Studio 11, right here on NBC lot in Burbank, saying, have a really good tomorrow.
Wait, Snyder sitting here? What? Didn't see you later occur to you?
Right, I forgot that. All right, let me do it again.
He's a regular viewer, though.